that common, Jane? I mean, I have to say, the first thing I thought was starving yourself. You never kind of associate with self-harming. I always think it's about cutting yourself, injuring yourself. You know, that's more of an eating disorder. It's interesting that's included in self-harming.
It's all the same thing. I would say if we think about, binge drinking, drugs, this is all forms of harming yourself, knowing that you're going to be doing harm to yourself. So it is very common, and as Rachel said, hiding it, you get absolutely, you know exactly what you're doing, and you're gauging everybody's response to you to see whether you actually have to hide it a little bit more, whether you have to take it down a level because they're a little bit concerned, and if you go down to that level, then that plateaus, and then you can start maybe thinking of other ways to harm yourself.
So what do you say now? There certainly will be boys and girls who will be watching who because we've discussed this before, that this has been of both sexes to different degrees, but still both sexes. No class boundaries. It can be absolutely anybody. But if you feel like you felt, what do you say?
I would say that you are not alone. There are so many people that this is affecting. You are not alone, and there are people that can help.
Who do you talk to?
It depends on your situation. If you've got a good enough relationship with your parents and you feel that you can deal with your parents knowing about it, then you can talk to your parents. School, college, university is also a good place, because the people that work with you in those environments are not as emotionally involved with you as perhaps what your parents are going to be. And then there's projects on the internet. I mean, the internet's a mixed blessing in that there's a lot of very dangerous websites about self-harm out there, but then there's also some positive ones.
And Jane, what about parents watching who have suspicions that maybe their child might be self-harming?
I think have that conversation with them, and if you feel that you maybe, as the parent, you might find that difficult, there might be some conflict involved in that conversation, get a third party to, maybe a favourite aunt or an uncle, or a friend of the family, or even just find somebody to open up that conversation.
And is it easier to get help? Often we hear with these eating disorders, people find it very hard to get the help.
They do, yes. The first port of call probably would be to your GP, and hopefully if the GP is well informed, they would send you on to an appropriate service. However, do the research yourself as well, see what's out there, and Rachel's organisation, that's a fantastic organisation. Find out what's out there, and it might just be that you see the conversations that other people are having, and you learn their techniques about, my daughter shuts the door and just won't talk to me. So find out, what that person has done to overcome that barrier.
We have the highest statistics of teenagers self-harming in Europe. Why do you think that is?
I think when we look at statistics, you've got to think, actually, what are real statistics and what are hidden statistics?
And different countries may do their statistics in a different way.
Absolutely, yes, exactly. There might be that, in Spain, for instance, that you might not actually, this isn't put down, this particular death isn't put down as a suicide, it might be put down as something else. Because this is all that, comes into the elements of, the arena of self-harm. But, so I think we shouldn't sort of beat ourselves up for being the highest statistical country.
Well, then our statistics, 25% of girls and 12% of boys self-harm by the time they're 14. These are huge numbers.
It is.
Is that pressure of being a teenager now?
I think a lot of it can be peer pressure as well, or model